Gundam might be all about the mobile suits for a lot of people, but throughout the many Gundam series there have also been a lot of characters, even mobile suit pilots, that can be badass without a mobile suit. Today we're having a look at 5 of these ass-kicking characters from alternate universes. Making a good first impression can be quite important in life, and Garrett managed to make one hell of an impressive one in Gundam X. When he realized that the town he was staying in couldn't defend itself against a bandit with a mobile suit, he jumped into action with style. Donning his sunglasses and with a smile on his face, he simply ran up to the mobile suit and threw a flashbang at the main camera. The poor bastard never knew what hit him. And what did Garrett do with the mobile suit? He sold it because he felt safer without one. And with his amazing street smarts, it's almost hard to blame him. He's managed to survive all by himself in the post-apocalyptic Gundam X world without a mobile suit. And later on in the series, when he's trying to sell his Gundam, he again shows us that he's not to be messed with. He knew that selling a Gundam would make him a prime assassination target, so he set timed explosives on the Gundam that only he could deactivate to prevent that. And when Anil L later tried to convince him to give her the Gundam, he convinced her otherwise. One does not simply mess with Garrett. Also, shout out to Dr. Fatzenberg, one of the most underrated characters in Gundam. Next up, we have another mobile suit pilot who was a badass before ever setting foot in one. Moolah. At the beginning of the first Bloody Valentine War, the Alliance only had mobile armors that were considered vastly inferior to Zaft's mobile suits. Even the Mobius Zero, the Alliance's most elite and difficult to pilot mobile suit, was only capable of roughly rivaling them. Still, despite this disadvantage, Moolah would use his machine to great effect throughout the war. During the fighting on the Endymion crater, he managed to make the impossible possible for the first time and single-handedly took out 5 Djinns. This feat earned him the nickname Hawk of Endymion. After this, a series of unfortunate events would see him assigned to the brand new Archangel Assault Carrier, a stint in which he would routinely push his Mobius Zero beyond what was thought possible for a mere mobile armor. Even though the Zero lacked any weapons to punch through the captured Gundam's phase-shift armor, Mu provided valuable covering fire for Kira and his strike, amongst other feats. Once the Archangel arrived on Earth, he would get some true firepower in the form of the humble Skygrasper, a support fighter whose main goal was to ferry striker packs to the strike for mid-combat striker pack changes, but in the hands of Moolah, this delivery vehicle became a true air superiority fighter. He even managed to take out the Buster Gundam with it. And shortly after that, badass LaFlaga would get his own mobile suit to kick even more ass. But that's no longer what this video is about. So let's move on to the third entry of this list, Trace Kushra Nada. I'm sure that for many folks who were introduced to Gundam during the 90s, Trace is one of their favorite villains. As soon as he appeared on screen, you just knew that there was something about this man. Maybe it was his calm and collected demeanor, maybe it was his calculated actions, or maybe even his way with words.
You wasted 3 mobile suits just to bring a minor rebellion under control?
And as a result, we were able to prevent the rebellion from developing into anything.
I'm not talking about the results! You're abusing the Alliance military's valuable combat resources!
Valuable combat resources? Are you talking about our soldiers, or are you talking about mobile suits?
Are you making fun of me, damn it?
It was quite clear from the beginning that Trace would play a large role in Gundam Wing, and that he would be a badass in a dashing outfit while doing so. With his own secret organization at his disposal, it wouldn't be long before this aristocrat became one of the most powerful men in Gundam Wing. And as an expert tactician and a master of deceit, it would have been understandable if he kept himself away from the front line. But he did the exact opposite when his fleet came under attack by 2 Gundams. Rather than letting his subordinates do all the fighting for him, he challenged one of them to a sword fight.
The duel is mine.
It takes some serious balls to just stare down a Gundam without even twitching. But so far, we've only had people who eventually became a mobile suit pilot on this list. So here's someone who was a badass without ever even touching a mobile suit. Orga Itsuka from Iron-Blooded Orphans. And saying that he was born as a badass probably wouldn't be an overstatement. Orphaned as a kid, Orga joined CGS and was forced to undergo the extremely dangerous and painful Alaya Vignana operation without anesthesia. And all throughout, he never cried. Unfortunately, the rest of his time at CGS would be equally depressing. But still, he managed to become the leader of their 3rd Army Division, a division made up entirely of disposable child soldiers. Fed up with their constant mistreatment, he managed to make use of a Gallarhorn attack to stage a coup d'etat and transform CGS into the now iconic Tekkadan.
Oh, あれは
これが鉄火弾のマーク。花だよ、花。花？なかなかいいだろう。ミカ、これを俺らで守っていくんだ。
And along with his best friend Mikazuki, he would become the driving force behind it. Orga provided the brain, which he actually hated doing, and Mika provided the brawn. And it was thanks to Orga's tactical abilities that Tekkadan survived on the battlefield, which he sometimes joined, and thanks to his charisma that the organization was able to grow. And while doing all of that, he achieved his goal of turning Tekkadan into a big family. In the end, trading his own future for that of his men. While his life didn't last, his legacy did, both in and out of universe. And before we move on to the number 1 of this list, here is an honorable mention for Edmond Duclos from Stargazer. During the First Bloody Valentine War, he was a tank commander and earned himself the nickname Demon Director. After the war, he retired, but when the Break the World incident happened, he found himself on the front line once again. A rogue Jin attacked a rescue facility that he happened to be at, and the already battered and exhausted Earth forces struggled to put up an effective resistance. But luckily for Ed, he came across an old subordinate of his, and he was able to coordinate an attack on the Jin. But with the Jin's thick armor, there was only one effective strategy: getting up close and personal.
できるだけ近づけ。でないとあの装甲はやめるぞ。了解。
While the attack cost him his life, in his last moments he was able to see that it had all been worth it. And then finally on number 1, we have the undefeated of the East, and former King of Hearts Shuji Kurose, better known as Master Asia. Standing an impressive 1.93 m, this 50-year-old beast of a man was the master of G Gundam's main character, Domon Kashu. When the Gundam fight was being dominated by mobile suits with guns, he showed them the might of martial arts and became the champion of the 12th Gundam fight with his Kowloon Gundam. The reasons for his badassery are as numerous as his victories, but for the sake of this list, we only need to have a look at his introduction into the series.
Over here!
I wish I could take out mobile suits with a scarf, or fly kick a skyscraper out of the way even though I'm already severely wounded.
Oh no, not another wall!
Domon, you can help me out here. I no longer have the strength to cast yet another Sekiha Tenkyoken.
He was probably just using that Gundam of his to hide his true power and actually give his opponents a fighting chance. And that is all for this list on 5 badasses from alternate universes. Let me know in the comments down below who your favorite one is, after Master Asia of course. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope all of you watching have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.